Well, apparently an ex-US intelligence agency has lifted the lid on top secret base in Australia. I assume they're talking about Pine Gap. Might be interesting. Let's have a gander, a propaganda.
Today, Australia is a strategic liability because of the waning capabilities that we have. We have not manned and equipped and sustained our military, our ADF.
Across more than 80 years, Australia grew comfortable with one great security ally. Now, just this year, the relationship that seemed to protect us is under stress. The issue? What's gone wrong in our relations with the United States? And what do we do now?
Trump is just verbalizing how the US feels about us. They've never had any respect for us. They've never had any respect for us. He's just, he just doesn't have the temperament to be a diplomatic. They've all, like, there's unclassified documents where you can see the stuff that they say about us. They just think like we're their little bitches, we're their little lapdogs. Fucking dickheads.
Who better to untangle knots in the US-Australia alliance than a dual citizen? One who spent his working life rising through two disciplines right at the sharp end of the relationship.
Don't trust him. You can't serve two masters. Get rid of him.
The military. He's a long-time Special Forces soldier and brigade commander. And intelligence. He's a spook who rose to the most...
I read that as he's a sook. I was like, well, sure. He's in touch with his feelings. We do like a new age sensitive man.
Senior rung of American Defence Intelligence. Today, John Powers is tackling the issue.
John Powers, thank you for joining the issue. Give us a quick summary of your career.
Well, before I start on my career, Jim, I'd first like to point out that I am an Australian.
No, you're not. That accent doesn't say that you're an Aussie. No. Look, I don't care what ethnicity you are. I'm from Western Sydney. Most of my mates are white. But you have to have the accent and you have to have the sense of humor. So I don't know. I'll see how good you are at paying people out, but so far strike one against you. Let's go. Let's continue.
Right, the accent. I became an Australian and my wife and I in 2019.
Oh, in 2019. Okay. Who sticks to you?
We're dual citizens, but Australia's home. We feel very fortunate to be Australian citizens.
How does a long-serving Yank become an Aussie? What happened?
Well, I'm not certain if it's directly attributed to him, but I've been told Banjo Patterson once said that home's not where you're born, it's where you want to die. And whether Banjo Patterson said it or...
He also said Waltzing Matilda, who bloody killed her, lying on the grass with a finger up her ass. But, you know, I believe those are the correct lyrics. If, Granville Public School taught me the correct lyrics on the playground.
Not, I'm going to pin it on him. We fell in love with the country.
Let's see how much Vegemite he spreads on his toast. Yeah, that's a good measure, I reckon. What I really used to like when I was in primary school is my Leb friends used to bring like Lebanese bread with Vegemite on it to school, like rolled up. Because like they didn't like use sandwich bread, they used obviously Lebanese bread with like butter and Vegemite like rolled up. It was amazing. It was like, I really like that.
But more importantly, the people and its values and its mores really touched our souls. Now, this is where we hope to die.
Great to have you, John.
Thank you.
You are a Special Forces soldier turned intelligence officer and senior in intelligence. Fair?
Yes. Yeah. I spent the majority of my career in the intelligence, both in the United States military, a lot of time doing special operations, a lot of Fort Bragg time, and which is where our airborne and special forces headquarters are. But I also had many opportunities to work overseas, and throughout my career, I did a total of 13 different deployments to some of the garden spots that the U.S. was involved in. Everything from Grenada to
here I am at Camp Grenada.
and then retired after a career of about 22 years and immediately went into the United States intelligence community where I served in various roles in Washington, D.C. and overseas.
ASIO boss Mike Burgess said last week,
Nation states are spying at unprecedented levels and with unprecedented sophistication. You would be genuinely shocked by the number and names of countries trying to steal our secrets.
if we knew some of the countries that are trying to steal our secrets, we'd be shocked. Would we be?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I heard Director Burgess say that, and I sort of got a giggle as a professional intelligence officer.
What were you laughing at?
Well, because at least from an intelligence officer's perspective, he was talking about foreign interference. Well, intelligence officers, I can remember when I was a young officer, just getting into this business, former DCI of U.S. intelligence, which is back in the day was the director of CIA, once made a statement that there are intelligence organizations that we're friendly with, but there's no friendly intelligence organization. Even here, when I was in Australia as a senior defense intelligence officer, now I wasn't trying to manipulate or to interfere with anything Australia was doing, but I was.
Likely story. We don't believe you. You look shifty. You look shifty. I don't trust him.
Trying to influence things. That's what intelligence officers.
So you were. You're just using synonyms. That's just a synonym. Okay, my brain's gone. That is just a synonym. There we go. Got it.
Do. That's what State Department folks do.
Even if you're a...
I wasn't trying to manipulate things. I was just trying to influence things. That's the same thing. I wasn't trying to hit you. I was just trying to induce blunt force trauma with my hand. Like, what the fuck? It may be dangerous to be America's enemy, but to be America's friend is fatal. Henry Kissinger. Oh, that man was so evil. That man was so incredibly evil.
America, even if you're in Five Eyes.
Oh yeah. I would be shocked if the men and women that are serving in either ASIO or some of our other organizations from Australia.
They're not ours. Just because you got a piece of paper doesn't mean you're one of us. Not one of us. Not one of us. Not one of us. Let's see you scull a beer. Come on. I don't believe you.
Weren't trying to do the same bloody thing. That's what you do. But there is a difference between influencing and interference. And I think that's what Director Burgess was getting at. But even if you think about it, when you're influencing something, you're attempting to interfere with a decision or a policy so that it serves to your benefit.
You're nudging decisions your way, your country's way.
Exactly, yeah.
And that happens within Five Eyes.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I would say, I'm not saying the United States is here stealing. We're not, because we've got a great relationship, obviously, with the Five Eyes and everything like that. But the fact that...
No, I don't believe you. You are being disingenuous. We know exactly what you're doing. Shifty little beady-eyed yank man. I don't believe you. I don't believe anything you've got to say.
Intelligence officers don't try
Oh, I sped him up.
to influence things. That's what we're paid to do. So maybe it's changed since I retired. But I can tell you, when I was here, I can tell you when I was here, I was trying to influence things.
John, it looks like in the past half year or so since President Trump came to office for a second time, that our relations with the US have got far tougher. How would you describe our relationship with the United States today?
I believe that, yes, they are tougher. Now,
Yeah, I would be asking him specific questions about instances where we know the US has, been instrumental in the ousting of two, funnily enough, coincidentally enough, Labor prime ministers. Americans are always so shocked when they find out that Australians don't like them. We don't like you. Our cultures are at odds with each other. Like, your culture is all about, You call it entrepreneurship, but it's just about climbing all over people to get what you want. We have tall poppy in this country for a reason. If you tread all over everybody to get to the top and then start acting like you're better than everybody else, yeah, damn right, we're gonna cut you back down to size. Freaking, if you want to go be an egotistical cunt, go move to America where they like reward like psychopathic behavior. We don't reward psychopathic behavior. Australia's all like about like, you're not better than anybody else. I don't care. I don't care if you're hotter than everyone. I don't care if you have more money than everyone. I don't care if you're smarter than everybody. Like, we're all just people, mate. Get over yourself. And that's it's what being Australian is all about, in my personal opinion.
There are those that will say that the United States is an unreliable partner. And let me just caveat one thing. I did not vote for Trump any of the times he ran. So I'm not a MAGA.
Including in 2024.
Yeah. Fortunately in the United States,
Americans have zero sense of irony. Oh, I know. The amount of times that I've said something that's 100% sarcastic or 100% taking the piss, and they respond to me like completely like just angry, incensed, and it's like, yeah, that was the point of my joke. You absolute fuckwit.
We have the ability to have a write-in candidate. So I didn't vote for either one. I thought they were very poor choices. But we are where we are. And having been a military officer and then an intelligence officer, we truly are apolitical. We swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States. And in that fact, we work for the American people. And I can say with all honesty and sincerity and great dignity, that's the way I've conducted myself, and I still do. But in regards to the United States, I think one of the things that Mr. Trump has done is that for those who say that the United States is now an unreliable partner or an unreliable ally, I would suggest to you that the United States is just as reliable as ever. As much as Mr. Trump doesn't like, and he's shown a record of this for many, many years, he does not like things like NATO. He's probably not a real big fan of AUKUS. He's not a fan of the UN. He's more of a bilateral guy. That's the business guy in him. He accepts them. He knows he can't get rid of them, but he accepts them. And what I would say, though, is under President Trump and his administration, and is that the U.S. is a reliable partner, but they're not a gullible partner. And I think that in years past, they became, everything from whether the U.S. would always be there, whether you paid your 2% GDP to the NATO fund or some other fund, or whatever the relationship was, the United States usually would say, and just go ahead with it.
I hope this guy doesn't think that Australia is a member of NATO. NATO literally stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. In case you haven't noticed, our home is girt by seas, and those seas, or rather oceans, are the Pacific, the Indian, and the Southern. I hope your brain's okay. I mean, you've got quite a big cranium there, but I hope the gray matter is proportional to this whole situation here, mate. I really hope that it is. But yeah, like what a load of nonsense. The America has never respected us. They've never respected us. They just like geographically where we're situated. They came here in World War II, obviously, because it was a good place strategically, an English-speaking country that was a good vantage point for them to, be based while they were fighting in the Pacific Theater. Obviously, they had their beef with the Japanese. And we got brought in with that beef. I don't think Japan would have gone this far south if it wasn't for the Yankee Doodles. I don't think we would have been. I mean, the reason why those midget subs went into Sydney Harbour was to get the USS Chicago, I believe, where they subsequently ended up sinking the HMS AS Cuttable. That wasn't their aim. It was to sink an American ship. Also, obviously, the Yanks were in Darwin when Darwin got bombed. I don't know if the Yanks were in Newcastle when Newcastle got bombed, but I don't know. Maybe they just had beef with that tram station that they blew up. I don't know. I don't know what that tram station did, so I can't really vouch for it. But
make do, even though. But I think what's happened now is that under the Trump administration, and in particular, the U.S. is not as gullible. They're going to make demands in return, but they will still be a reliable partner. They're not going to let
His verbiage is very strongly insinuating that Australia has been taking advantage of America. Am I crazy? It's a fucking gaslighting fucking fat fuck. Go eat another cheeseburger, you fucking ginorm. No, you've been taking advantage of us. I'm sorry. How many Australians died in Vietnam? How many Australians have died in all the subsequent conflicts that we followed America into? You owe us. You fucking owe us. This is such a one-sided relationship. You little pig man. You little fucking squinty-eyed fuck. Oh my fucking God. Article 10 of NATO treaty literally prevents Australia from joining. Yeah, it's almost like we're nowhere near the North Atlantic. We're not anywhere near the Atlantic. We are literally, we border the Southern Ocean. The Southern Ocean runs along the bottom of our continent. Or rather, the bottom half of our continent runs along the Southern Ocean. Trump does this too. He just claims he's disadvantaged and lies. Yeah, this is such a one-sided relationship, and we are the ones being preyed upon. We are the ones being preyed upon. Disgusting behavior. If Australia gets nukes, if Australia becomes a nuclear power, obviously we're a very peaceful country, but we just have nukes and we just say to everybody, hey, we have them. We don't want to use them. If you leave us alone, we just want to be a pacifist country alone, just doing our thing. We're happy to trade with everyone. We're happy to be mates. Look, we've got the uranium. We've already got the uranium. We've got the scientists to enrich the uranium. You know, we can split some atoms. I know we can do it. I don't like nuclear weapons and I would rather no one has them, but people do have them. So why shouldn't a country like Australia have them? Then no one will fuck with us. And this little freaking pig man, this little freaking, go back to the nether, you freaking pink pig man. Sorry. I shouldn't pick on his appearance, but my lord. It goes back to the Roald Dahl book, The Twits, right? Like when you have an ugly soul, it just like radiates. You know, even if you're not a good looking person, but you have like a very nice personality, you know, you have a radiant smile and you'll always look good. This person's just a pig man. This is a pig man.
Ally go under, someone that we have a good, strong relationship with. And there's none stronger, I think, than our relationship with Australia.
Defence spending. Allies.
Well, that's exactly what I mean in brackets. That's 100% what I mean. I would rather that no countries have nuclear weapons, but that ship has long ago sailed. And yeah, if every other country has them, then why shouldn't, you know, I think one of the more responsible countries have them. I couldn't foresee, you know, a scenario in which we would use them, but it would definitely, I think, it would definitely make us, you know, way less of a soft target for other countries. And it would mean we wouldn't have to enter these parasitical, you know, alliances with countries like the US that obviously have absolutely no respect for us.
Have long treated it as a sovereign issue. Not anymore. The Trump administration wants Australia's defence budget. 27,
guys. This is a 27-year-old. Sure. Sorry. I'm just going for the ad hominem tonight. We're just attacking Americans' appearance. But I have SLE and I grew up under the Australian sun. If I looked like that, oof. Anyway.
Now,
I digress.
Of gross domestic product lifted sharply to 3.5%. The Albanese government's response? It's not Washington's decision to make, it's Canberra's.
They're entitled to express views, but we're entitled as a sovereign nation to ensure that we look after Australia's national interest.
What's your view on 3.5% of GDP on defence?
I don't know
it's tens of billions more.
Yeah, it is. Yes. I think we've underspent on defense from the standpoint of we don't have the capabilities that we need as to even defend ourselves.
Do you expect that the US will absolutely insist on that until it gets it out of Australia, our defence spending?
I think they'll keep pushing for it. I think they will. It'll be something that when the leaders, whether it's the Secretary of Defense or his minions or State Department, I think it's something they'll keep pushing on. I believe they feel the Trump administration feels that's in today's society, that's something that Australia should be doing. And on that point, here recently there was I'm not quite certain what news poll it was, but there's been some polling done that has said, that 61% of the Australians don't like Donald Trump. That's fair. He's going to be gone in 3.5 years. He won't run again. He's not allowed to run again per our Constitution.
We know. Just because Americans don't know about the rest of the world, Australians do know about the rest of the world. A lot of us are very well traveled, and we know that constitutionally a president can only run for 2 terms. Oh my God.
And you're confident the system will hold there?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, I absolutely. There's one thing, although he pushes the constitutions to its edges, that is one I do not believe, even if they ask, if the MAGA's all swelled up, I do not believe.
The 2-term limit on US presidents.
Exactly. Plus, there is, and that's why I say, if people don't like President Trump, he's going to be gone in 3.5 years. However, the MAGA base, the J.D. Vances, the Marco Rubios, the Kristi Noem, to a certain degree, the Nikki Haley's and others, those acolytes, they've bought into the MAGA idea. I think it's going to be very.
This guy is still clearly an American asset. The freaking shit coming out of his mouth. See, if he was Australian, he wouldn't be this much of a shit cunt because he would have had it knocked out of him already. He would have been punched in the face a very long time ago. Probably while he was still at school, someone would have knocked his teeth out.
Hard for the Democrats to come up with somebody to run against, either a Vance, a Rubio, or a Noem in 2028.
As an ally, we need to get used to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not only get used to it, but figure out a way how you're going to deal with it.
As well, John Powers reckons it's about Australia facing up to some deficiencies in defence. Powers knows defence. He served on 13 deployments in every US theatre of war from Grenada in '83 to Afghanistan, rising to command about 4,000 troops. There is one area that stands out for the long-time soldier turned spook.
ISR is near and dear to my heart. ISR, the 3 letters stand for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. And it is what gives you.
How would this guy do recon? What's he doing? What's stealth about this build? This build is not a stealth build, ladies and gentlemen. Democracy, man. He's definitely enjoyed a few succulent Chinese meals. He's definitely committed the crime of having many succulent Chinese meals. You're worried about a smarter, slicker, more intelligent person replacing Trump after he's gone. Oh, 100%. A man that is more sophisticated than Trump but has the same ideology as him, that's been indoctrinated into that whole movement, will definitely be a frightening proposition to contend with, 100%. They had the 60 Minutes the other week too. That was an ad campaign for US nuclear subs. Yeah, we're not getting subs. We're not getting nuclear subs. We're just going to be out all of this money. And again, the thing is, we don't even have to go to the trouble of trying to acquire uranium. We literally have it here in the Northern Territory. It's a naturally occurring mineral. You could just go grab some yellow rocks from the Northern Territory, get the science people to do what they do. We can do it. We can do it.
The indications and warning if somebody's going to do something against you. But we don't have a national level collection requirements, collection management system.
We're deficient on ISR?
I would say we are. I mean, when people look at weapon systems, I've yet to, now you're able to, for example, the new frigates. you'll be able to put certain ISR capabilities on those new ships that are going to come in. We've got aircraft that we use, for example, the P-8s. That is an ISR platform. We do have Collins-class submarines. They're out there somewhere. That great ISR system. And when we get the Virginia class, they'll be able to provide us ISR. But I don't think we have a robust ISR capability as a nation, and I do not believe we have a national collection requirement system.
What's this we? What's this we? No, not one of us.
That integrates everybody's collection requirements so that we prioritize what I like to say are the crystal balls as opposed to the glass balls and the rubber balls. I don't think anybody in government could tell you right today what are
the first public housing bill that the government announced was one to house the US military soldiers. Yeah, I saw that too. That really freaking boiled my piss as well. That really, really, really boiled my piss. Disgusting. But we're still not being in a good vassal state. We're still not giving them enough, apparently.
Are the government's crystal balls when it comes to intelligence requirements that we're going against?
Is AUKUS a good deal for Australia, John?
It's a deal. I don't know if it's a good deal.
That's not a good deal by the sounds of it.
No, I don't think it's a good deal. I'm not an AUKUS fan. I'm not confident we'll ever see those 3 Virginia-class submarines. Now, that's, again, my opinion. There's other folks out there that say, yeah, they'll be here. AUKUS, in regards to the build of the submarine, the AUKUS submarine in Great Britain, I don't have a lot of confidence in that either. And I'm talking as a taxpayer now, and knowing a little bit about how these acquisition programs work. I'm far more jazzed about the frigate purchase we just made than I am the AUKUS submarines.
You talk to people back in the US. Yeah. You're in the know with people who know.
Right.
What does that tell you about whether those 3 Virginia-class submarines are ever going to make it to Australia?
Well, the way it's written, and we've known this because we're going, even if Bridge Colby goes through and says, yeah, we'll keep the plan as it is. If the U.S. is short submarines, the Australia loses.
We're not getting them.
We're not going to get them. And as it is, we're getting 3 redone submarines. Well, it's better than no submarines, particularly when you look at the age of the Collins. My question is that, and what I've never heard explained, and maybe I've missed it, maybe it's out there, but how does Australia, how do these submarines fit into our strategy, our national defense strategy? Why are we getting these type of submarines, and how do they fit into the overall deterrence that we're trying to project? They are very good ISR platforms, and the fact that we're getting 8 of them means that basically we're going to have maybe 2 out at any one time once we get them all here. Unlike the United States, who will cozy up.
He alternates between considering himself an Australian and not considering himself an Australian. Have you noticed that? He alternates. It's very, he's a very shifty character, this bloke.
Whether Virginia class or Ohio class submarines off somebody's coastline and threaten to fire the missiles that are on board at a foe because they're not playing nicely. I don't ever foresee Australia using our submarines to do that kind of aggressive sort of offensive capabilities.
The dude has one allegiance, and that's to the US State Department. Yeah, I 100% agree. This guy's dodgy ass.
So my question is, what's the plan behind why Australia wants these submarines? And if it's for ISR purposes, great.
Australia didn't want these submarines. We wanted French submarines, and we were strong-armed by you cunts into buying the American ones. That's what happened. Are you insane? Are you insane, Pigsy? Where's Monkey? Where's Monkey? Monkey magic.
But how are they going to integrate with other ISR capabilities?
How much of a problem for the United States is Chinese ownership of the port of Darwin?
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I know that and the reason I say that is that this same company owns and operates ports in the United States. So there you go. And you know, it's all in the open. You know, being an intelligence officer, when this all broke, you know, I thought, you know, Secretary Richardson did a fantastic job of putting people in their place, to include the United States. I mean, there was a bit of hand waving and stuff like that, but it sort of blew over right away because, you know, it's all in the open up there. I mean, it's a port. It's not like they're going to allow Chinese cruisers to come, you know, floating into Darwin. If we have the ISR and we have the deterrence, and we do what Mr. Burgess said, we're following the ability of these adversaries, whether it's Chinese or anybody else, to interfere in Australian domestic politics or operate.
You interfere in our domestic politics more than anyone else ever has. The Crown sticks its nose in way less than you cunts do. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Ask him about Whitlam? Yeah, I mean, you're assuming that an American knows about any type of history. That was the 70s. I don't know when this guy was born because he's obviously like very unfit. Yeah, I don't know if he's 40 or if he's 80. Honestly, can't tell.
Operations or defense, then it's an issue. But, you know, as a professional intelligence officer for many, many years, to me, I saw it when it happened as an opportunity to collect on the Chinese, to collect on that, see how they do business, to be able to cross-pollinate with the Americans.
So it might actually advantage the United States.
Yeah. Well, and that's, you know, as an intelligence officer, I'm always looking at how to take advantage. And if you're going to come into my backyard and operate, it makes it much easier for me to be able to watch what you're doing and how you're doing it.
How valuable an ally are we to the United States?
The United States, and I used to be a war planner on the Joint Staff and at 18th Airborne Corps. When we would put together plans, we would start with Australia. We had to put a coalition. We'd always figure out how can we get the Aussies into the fray. Because when it comes to just grit and metal and the intangibles of being a reliable soldier, sailor, airman that you can rely on when you're in the foxhole.
Yeah, in brackets, he's not very sophisticated. And he keeps on mixing up his verbiage, whether like he wants to convey that he's one of us, but then he gets confused mid-sentence. He's not slick. He's not a sophisticated American asset, that's for sure.
Could not have a better ally. However, I will say, I believe today Australia is a strategic liability because of the waning capabilities that we have. We have not manned and equipped and
if this guy represents American intelligence, then that says a lot. I mean, really, the term American intelligence is a contradiction in terms, surely. They're not an intelligent people.
Sustained our military, our ADF, so that it can keep pace materially and capability-wise with the United States. When I look at where I'm going to strike, I'm going to look at where vulnerabilities are, because it's through those vulnerabilities I'm going to get to the rest of the force. And right now, to no fault of the men and women who serve in our ADF, capability-wise, we're waning. So yeah, we're a liability.
That's a big call.
Yeah.
We're not a liability. The only reason why we would be at risk of attack from anybody is because we facilitate your weapons triangulation systems by having Pine Gap smack bang in the middle of our continent. The only reason why Australia is at risk from anybody is our relationship with you. So who's the liability, dickhead? Can we kick him out of the country? Maybe look, I've been a member of the Labour Party for a really long time. And you know, I know a lot of people in the union movement because of my dad. Maybe I should become Prime Minister. Would you like a little raven-haired, feisty Slav as Prime Minister? And yeah, I'll just kick everybody out. Hello, what's happening here? Don't worry about me. I'm just spurging out, Deji. I'm just spurging out on this this American asset who's pretending that he's Australian. Prime Minister, do we take over government? Count me in. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be taking over. I would be democratically elected. I think I would be democratically elected. I think I could do it. I believe in myself.
Like what I have to say, but it's the truth. We can't wait 4 or 5 years. We can't wait, but we're going to have to wait. And it's not just this government. It's a collective thing that's happened over time. It goes back to the fact that we always knew, not only Australia, you pick a NATO country, they always knew the U.S. would be there. But those times have changed. We're in a different world environment. And it goes back to what I was saying, politically, if you don't like Trump, fine. He's going to be gone in 3.5 years. But Trump policy...
No. Trump's not the issue. Your country and your culture is the issue. Those are the issues. Our cultures are incompatible. Our values are incompatible. This is a parasitic alliance, and you are the parasite, and you are draining us, the host. And for you to try and say that we're a liability, absolute disgusting behavior. And don't sit here and go, oh, I'm a dual citizen. You serve one master, and that is the devil. That is the devil empire, the evil empire of America. All right. Look, David Icke was right, okay? I'm just going to say it. Alex Jones was right.
These ideas, doctrine, they're going to be around for a while.
A lot of people say, yes, but we give Pine Gap to the US. Pine Gap, the base in Central Australia, is really important to the US. What do you say?
What are my political views? My political views would mostly fall on the left side of the political spectrum. However, I do think that looking at the way that politics has evolved in like the last 20 years or so, I do think like the left right-wing paradigm is kind of obsolete. So do I believe in equality? Yeah, I do. But the thing that I believe in more now than the left-right paradigm is right or wrong. I believe in looking at policy through an ethical framework and what is right and what is wrong. And that's how I look at it now. Because I know a lot of people that call themselves leftists that have a lot of very, very, very bigoted views. And I wouldn't necessarily fuck with those people. For me, it's I'm very pro-union. I'm a unionist. I was brought up in the unions. I was very active in the unions. I'm quite sick, so unfortunately I can't be as politically active as I would want to be. Keeping down my day job takes all of my energy, so I don't really have that much energy.
It's more important to the Australians than it is to the United States. I mean, we have similar bases or similar facilities, in England, Turkey, Germany.
He just said Pine Gap isn't important. Then why did you ask an entire government over it? This guy is such an asset. This guy is such a psyop. Are you kidding me? He just said Pine Gap is more important to Australia. How is it important to us? The only Australians that work there are cleaners and janitors. He is a liability to our country. He needs to be gone. We need to get this guy out. He needs to go.
Germany, place like that. With technology nowadays, you can what we call bin pipe that stuff back to Fort Meade, Maryland. It all can be collected there. There's some unique things.
You heard him. We can get rid of the Yanks tomorrow. Off you go. Bye. See you next time.
Granted, without going into a lot of details, that happened at Pine Gap. It's important, but if the Australians came in and said, we don't want to have a bilateral relationship with the United States anymore at Pine Gap, I don't think the Americans would say, oh, it's gonna bugger up how we do business from an intelligence and surveillance perspective. So
they wouldn't mind?
I'm not going to say they wouldn't mind. I'm just saying it would not be it would be a loss, but it wouldn't be a significant loss.
The other great one I hear is, yes, but America really needs the Indian Ocean base that Perth will provide it in years to come. Is Perth a jewel in that sense?
I believe
That was the clunkiest attempt at an ocarism by saying bugger up. Oh yeah, he's trying so hard. He's trying so hard. He's he's like an alien trying to blend into human civilization. He went to a pub, he was like, how do these Australians talk? Yeah.
Perth is very significant, particularly the expanded operations there as a base, a rotational base for U.S. submarines. The facilities that, it's particularly as they do operations into the Indo-Pacific area.
John Powers sees one other factor at play in US-Australia relations now, and it's got nothing to do with the budgets, the bases and ports that consume so much of the discussion on defence.
What's your view on Kevin Rudd and his role as ambassador for Australia in Washington?
Yeah, Mr. Rudd. He is a distractor. And this is me talking as an Aussie now.
You're not an Aussie! Shut the flip up. Keep Kevin 07 out your goddamn mouth.
And from my experience as a bureaucrat, as a civil servant for many, many years. Although he's a former Prime Minister, Mr. Rudd serves at the pleasure of the Australian people and of the Prime Minister. I believe Mr. Rudd has put Mr. Albanese in an untenable position where he's waiting for Mr. Albanese to have to ask Mr. Rudd to leave. Mr. Rudd should do the honorable thing and resign without having to be asked. Mr. Trump doesn't like him, and as a result,
Who is this guy? He's a former American intelligence office and military guy who's pretending to be Australian now. He's somehow obtained Australian citizenship, and he's just basically spouting a whole bunch of lies. He's obviously an American asset, and he's saying that America is a liability to America, that we're taking advantage of America. He's an Aussie now, apparently. He got dual citizenship in 2019. He's like, hello, fellow mates. G'day, how's it going? Like, I don't know. He's just an absolute loser. Apparently, Pine Gap is also more important to Australia than it is to America. Those words came out of his mouth. He's retired now, apparently. He's retired and he's somehow obtained dual citizenship. I don't know how DFAT let him slip through. He's literally a foreign intelligence officer, and I'm sure he probably still has security clearance. And he's like, the stuff that he spewed is 100% American propaganda, and he's sitting there, with a straight face, spewing all this shit. Absolutely insane.
Result of Mr. Trump not liking him, nobody else in his administration is going to give him the time of day. That is a disservice to us as Australians. It is, and as I say, I would believe, as a former public servant myself, is that he shouldn't have to be asked. He should say what is good for the nation, and he should resign.
And
I think the best ambassador to America Australia could have is somebody that's incredibly skeptical of America. The Yanks were instrumental in the ousting of Rudd as leader. They basically had Julia Gillard in because, she was willing to go along with whatever the Yanks wanted. We know this. Yeah, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's freaking raining. What's the name of that guy that the Yanks had on the payroll? Mark Habib is the senator that the Yanks had on the payroll that orchestrated the coup against Rudd. So this is from the World Socialist website. So let's take let's consider the source. But this is from the WikiLeaks cables. The latest batch of the several hundred leaked US diplomatic cables concerning Australia provided by WikiLeaks to the Fairfax companies Sydney Morning Herald and Melbourne Age provide further extraordinary evidence of Washington's direct involvement in the anti-democratic coup against former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd last June. Key coup plotters in the Labour Party and trade unions, including Senators Mark Abib and David Feeney and Australian Workers' Union Chief Paul Howes, secretly provided the US Embassy with regular updates on internal government discussions and divisions within the leadership. As early as June 2008, the American ambassador identified Julia Gillard as the front runner to replace Rudd. Why are they deciding who is going to lead our country? Do you know what Julia Gillard did to women in this country? She fucked over single mothers for a start. Like, what a feminist icon, guys. What a feminist icon. Just because you're a childless harpy, you don't have to take it out of like single mothers that are struggling to raise their children. You stupid crewhead. Yeah, that was I think she really showed her colors. Oh, but she gave a really good speech about misogyny. Okay. In October 2009, 8 months before Gillard was installed in unprecedented circumstances, Mark Abib informed American officials of emerging leadership tensions. The Australian people, on the other hand, were kept entirely in the dark about any differences between the Prime Minister and his colleagues until after Rudd was ousted. Gillard was described some 2 years before the coup by US diplomatic officials as a rising star within the Labor government. That chick is nothing. That chick is absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit. She was just like a lawyer for what's the name of that law firm? It's like one of the main like pro bono it's not even pro bono, it's like don't win, don't pay. Slater and Gordon, thank you. Slater and Gordon, yeah. 8 months before Gillard was installed in unprecedented circumstances, Mark Abib informed American officials of emerging leadership tensions. The Australian people, on the other hand, were kept entirely in the dark about any differences between the Prime Minister and his colleagues until after Rudd was ousted. Anyway, you get the gist. You get the gist. Abib and Feeney, those are the names I was looking for. I hate that. I hate that like it's on the tip of your tongue. Feeling, but you can't quite get the words out. I hate that so much.
Kevin Rudd had not have been there and we had another ambassador in Washington. Do you think Anthony Albanese would have met Donald Trump by now?
I do. I really do. I think, yeah. I do believe that somebody else that would be able to be.
That's it. I'm running for office, and the first thing I'm doing is kicking this bloke out. He's gone. You're gone, mate. Hop on your bike. Ride it across the Pacific Ocean, you fatty.
Be able to
Bye.
have those discussions. We have it because Mr. Trump's a very, he is a different cup of tea. There ain't no two ways about it. But he's a relational person. I mean, I'm not saying he had a great relationship, from my understanding, with Mr. Hockey when he was thing. I've said this before. People think I'm absolutely crazy, but I think he got along fairly well with Mr. Turnbull. They're both businessmen, and that's something Mr. Trump can relate to. My understanding is one of the reasons that Mr. Rudd was.
See, Rudd, there's your problem, mate. You didn't work for Goldman and Sachs and enrich yourself with like hundreds of millions of dollars from the stock market. That's obviously, what makes you a good diplomat. That's obviously what would make you a good ambassador. So you're missing that. You're missing the greedy fuck component. There you go, like advocating for your own country. I think Rudd being fucked over by the Yanks makes him the best ambassador we could have, because look at him. He thinks he's slick. He thinks we can't see through it. He thinks, my eyes are, he obviously needs an upper blepharoplasty. He thinks his eyelids are obscuring his shiftiness, and they're not. Look, aren't there like good plastic surgeons in your home country? Surely that's obscuring your eyes. Like all the celebrities get upper blepharoplasties. Why don't you ask the American girlies where they go?
Nominated to be the ambassador, and I could be proven wrong. So you may know better than I do. It's because he's such a Chinese expert. Well, there's a hell of a lot of Chinese experts in the United States. Being an ambassador is about relations. It's about representing your people And yeah.
So what, knowing how to speak Mandarin and being versed in Chinese history is a bad thing? What are you talking about? There's not much American history to learn, idiot. Your country's existed since the 1770s. Like, there's not much to fucking learn. It's like Australian, like, white history in America and white history in Australia. There's not much to learn. Europeans haven't been there for very long. There's not much to fucking know, cunt. What are you talking about?
I do believe that there would have been a meeting by now. There'd at least have been phone calls answered, or even if you're blasting out of whatever the G7 or whatever meeting it was, there would have been a, hey, I can't see you right now. But it's been very discouraging the way that Mr. Trump, and I agree with everybody else. It's rather undiplomatic the way he has treated Mr. Albanese and treated the Aussies. Because I think deep down inside, most Americans, to include Mr. Trump, you know, there's something about the Aussie larrikin that resonates with Americans. So
don't. We don't like you. We don't like you. I don't know where you got this idea that we're friends. An Aussie larrikin would have punched you in the face already, mate. Like, we don't tolerate this type of bullshit. And if you were Australian, if you grew up here, if you were enculturated, you wouldn't behave like this because it would have been knocked out of you a long time ago.
Oh, there is always going to be a great relationship. Now, the thing that, as an American who's now an Aussie, that most
You're not an
Americans
Aussie.
in their head is, you know, we see ourselves more like Aussies, and we can't understand, you know, why do you hang on to this thing with the king and queen? You know, you're like us. You know,
No, we're not.
We fought a revolution.
No, you're not. And the only reason why Australia isn't a republic is the time that it has been brought to a referendum. It was structured in such a way that no sensible person would ever vote for it. And that's why. And referendums are expensive and we don't care. She's just on our money. He's just on our money now, I guess. Rest in peace, Lizzie. Glizzies for Lizzies, guys. Yeah, we don't care. We don't care. We're not like you. We're nothing like you. Stop saying that. You obviously don't know anything about our culture if you think that we're anything like you. Australians take care of each other. Like, we take care of each other. We, like, look at the SES, look at, like, the CFA, the RFS. Like, whenever like anything goes down in Australia, people are always volunteering to help. Like, Australians care deeply about each other. And, you know, that's why we have universal healthcare. That's why we have, you know, that's why our society is structured the way it is. That's why we have all these mechanisms for social mobility that you don't have built within your society. Like, I grew up below the poverty line, right? And I was able to implement those mechanisms for social mobility and attend group of 8 universities and get qualifications and build a career for myself. I'm also able to access healthcare that I wouldn't be able to access as a very incredibly sick person. You know, like, just, you don't know anything about our society. What has us being a constitutional monarchy got to do with the price of fish in Japan, cunt? Absolutely nothing. And as I said, like, the monarch doesn't stick their noses in. You were the ones that kicked off the constitutional crisis of 1975. That was you. The Governor General just, you know, did what he did, but it was at the behest of you guys. It was at the behest of America, not at the behest of Lizzie II. It was at your behest. He knows that. He's sitting there. He's sitting there thinking that we're all dumb and we're going to eat it up.
You know, we threw out the shackles.
Get over
it. You know, you're more like us. What are you doing? So I think there's a great respect for the people.
No, we're definitely way more like the Poms. You know why? Because the Poms have a sense of humor. The Poms are self-deprecating. The Poms have universal healthcare. They endeavor to have a successful multicultural society. We don't have culture wars. We don't have civil wars. We're way more egalitarian than you guys. You guys are just all about climbing over everybody to get what you want. Might is right. Tread all over anybody that you have to enrich yourselves. You don't care about people. You care about yourselves. It's an incredibly, like, uber capitalistic, psychopathic society. And we're nothing like you. How fucking dare you?
Of America. towards Australia. I know there's a great respect.
No, there's no
intelligence
respect.
Services and the military services towards the military and our fellow intelligence service here in Australia.
But Kevin Rudd is a problem to the relationship.
I believe so. Both. I personally am.
This guy's still very clearly serving the American
He's
empire.
a hindrance to the relationship and an open dialogue with this administration. And, you know, the good news is Trump leaves in 3.5 years. If Mr. Rudd stays that whole time, he should be gone by then too, because I personally believe either J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio is going to be the next.
I'm going to write a letter to DFAT about this guy. I'm going to write a letter to DFAT about this guy and ask that his citizenship be reviewed, because he's clearly some type of American asset and he wants to undermine Australia's security and democracy. I'm seriously, I'm gonna write a letter. I'm becoming such a boomer. I'm gonna buy a typewriter from like the op shop, and I'm gonna sit there by candlelight and like type up a letter. Like, how dare you, sir? How dare you? All right, I actually am. I'm gonna write. I think this guy is a liability. To use his own words, he's a liability.
President of the United States. Can't say for certain. Don't know how things are going to play. But if it were one of those two,
the most unattractive Trojan horse I've ever seen, I will say. Why are your pants so short? Oh my God, sort it out, mate. Sort it out.
he's going to get less airtime, or somebody like a Mr. Rudd will get less airtime than he's getting right now. And so do the right thing is what I'm trying to say, in my opinion, for the country. And don't put our prime minister in the position to have to remove you. Because if he doesn't and you just stay there, we are going to languish for 3.5 years. Not good.
John Powers, thank you for tackling the issue.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it, buddy.
This has been The Issue from 7 News. You can follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Join us next time for a new issue and a new guest to unravel it for us. Till then, all the best.
Thank you for letting me polish your nuts. Yeah, 100%. No, he didn't push back at all. They need an angry little hormonal petite woman to yell at their guests. That's what they need. I volunteer as tribute. Could you imagine me interviewing people? Just start yelling at them. Well, that certainly rustled my jimmies, ruffled my feathers. I get so fired up. But yeah, that's the worst attempt of a Trojan horse I've ever seen, because he's not even smart enough to conceal his objectives, is he? Clearly still carrying water for the Yanks. Sorry, probably high fructose corn syrup soft drink for the Yanks. I believe that's what they like to drink. I don't think the Americans drink water, do they? Except for Ricochet. Ricochet drinks a lot of water because he's a good boy. Anthony Albanese's visiting our friends in the front. He's over in New Zealand. I wonder if they're having some roast lamb for dinner.